Good evening, everyone. I'm Professor Melanie Fiander, and I'd like to welcome you all to the lecture this evening here at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh Online Division. Tonight we have a special guest speaker, Alex Koloskov. Welcome. Alex is a well-known commercial photographer who has shot several advertising campaigns for Nespresso, Google, Marc Jacobs, and Godiva, just to name a few. In Koloskov's own words, he describes his photographic career as, quote, "I'm a mix of technicality, innovation, and out-of-the-box thinking. I love taking on technical challenges in anything I do, including photography. As a photographer, I'm completely self-taught. I don't know the rules, nor do I care to follow them. I don't follow the herd, I do it my own way. That's turned out to be an invaluable lesson in what I do. It has allowed me to experiment, to see outside the borders, challenge the authorities, and create a stunning photography style that is crisp, sharp, and crystal clear." Koloskov is the co-founder of Photog.com, where he teaches students how to shoot in a similar commercial fashion. Koloskov is also an instructor at kelby1.com, udemy.com, and skillfeed.com. At this time, I will pass the platform over to Alex Koloskov, and again, welcome to the lecture.
So, as a photographer, 20 years ago, it was quite different thing, the whole photography, right? It was very special in terms of equipment, right? Cameras, all those chemicals, and all science behind it was a huge limiting factor for people to enter professional photography, right? And these days, it's changed a lot. Now anyone can have a really awesome camera, DSLR, digital. There is no chemicals anymore. We have Lightroom, we have Photoshop, we have tons of tutorials everywhere. And now, if you want to not just make money as a photographer, but to be one of the best, actually, to be, not to survive, but to thrive as a photographer, build a big business, it should be something which really, separates you from the rest of people with cameras, right? Because before it was the camera itself, it was a big separating factor. Now, I think it's all about being unique and being creative. And I was looking at many photographers. I was kind of studying just for myself how they, their life, their professional life, and I found that there is a difference of what they do and what I see, everywhere on a Flickr, let's say. It's basically creativity and uniqueness. Many of photographers who kind of big names, they not afraid, especially at the beginning of their career, they were doing some crazy stuff. And for me as a photographer, the main thing, the main goal is to kind of unleash that creativity that we all have inside us. I don't believe in like some people more talented than others. It's actually, I know that's how we all think, but I do lots of studies about how our brain works and all that kind of thing, that it looks like that we all have tons of creativity, we're all talented, but we all have huge mental kind of barriers inside us, which limits us. So it's more about breaking those barriers than to kind of being born as a talent or something. If you can do it, you can be, you can do whatever you want. Photography is one of those things. So the key is to learn how to be creative, to train yourself to be creative, to think differently. And how we do it? We all, social animals. We just, our surrounding, people that and things that surround us has direct influence of how we think, what we're thinking about, and about whole internal world is being kind of formed by what every person is surrounded with. And for as a photographer, I think it's really cool is to surround yourself with great people. How to do it with people? I mean, for example, in my life, I had great friends. I had great friends in US and great people, but it was all programmers. You know, because I was a programmer. That's you know how I came to US, and that's how I naturally got into that community of people, same people from different parts of the world. And it was hard for me to get, you know, creative minds of a photographer to talk to and you know do that kind of things. So I did it virtually. And now with internet, it's a great thing that you can surround yourself just by looking. Instead of you know browsing Facebook, you can browse portfolios of great photographers. You know, I have this list of just like a huge list of bookmarks on my browser. And if I feel kind of not good inside, you know, some anxious or you know all kind of stuff, I just go and start clicking through great images. I mean, it helps. It helps a lot. It tunes up my thinking, and over time, you know, you can do really crazy things when you kind of train your brain this way. So be unique, be creative, and the key is inspiration. You need to get inspired. You need to, like I said, look at you know people at their work and their maybe biographies that can inspire you. Of course, well, maybe not of course for you, but I quit watching TV. I quit doing, well, all kind of things that gives me some fun, some kind of, which can soften my internal pain, basically. Because as an artist, there is always some internal pain, right? When you want to do something and you cannot do it. You cannot do it because you don't have equipment, or you don't have knowledge, or you don't have something which, well, whatever you may have. And to soften the pain that, and like to be not satisfied with what you do, there are different things you can do to soften it, right? You can go and watch some cool movie, which will take you away from this reality, from your bills, from all this kind of stuff. However, it doesn't help you to really do anything good in your reality when you get back. It even gets worse. So, like I said, it's a really good idea to quit doing things that kind of pulls you away, but instead just to try to do yourself something. What I was doing all these years when I was learning photography, I was trying to replicate some cool shots without equipment that I supposed to have, without knowledge that I supposed to have. I was looking at some mind-blowing shots. It was still life shots. I'm gonna talk why, what kind of why studio still life photography, not just other photography. But I was trying to replicate it, and the whole process was so rewarding. It was so cool to do this. That TV and all that kind of even like fiction books, restaurants, maybe with hanging with friends, beer, after work, as many people do, like every Friday or whatever. It was not even close to that excitement when I was spending 2, 3 days in that improvised studio trying to do some cool shot. I didn't get the shot, but I get something else which was mine, like, oh, I can do it. And that was a big thing. And of course, I learned a lot while, kind of trying to do this kind of stuff myself. So, browse best portfolios, try to replicate. It's okay, I think it's completely fine if you try to mimic and replicate somebody else's shot. You never get the same shot, and in most cases, you will end up with something completely different. But lots of learning happens there. Do not stop when done, do more, and do it differently. While you're doing this kind of replication, at some point you will see different possibilities. You can start seeing different ways of doing that shot. I mean, the idea, the whole kind of outcome that you kind of imagined will be changed, can be changed or will be changed. during the process. And this is the beauty. You start doing one thing and you end up completely different stuff. So it's okay to try to replicate. Sleep it and have another look at the morning. That's another thing. Having studio in my basement, for a long time. We had this house in Georgia. We moved from Georgia to California recently. We had a big basement, and it was home theater actually in the basement. Kitchen for some other stuff, but home theater was just a relatively large space, which we stripped out, painted white and black, and turned it into a studio. And it was really cool that I can do short. I get lots of frustration because it wasn't coming up well. I kind of abandon it, then I go sleep, and then go back next day, and then boom, something happened. You know how our subconscious mind works, right? When you sleep, it doesn't sleep, it actually do something. And at the morning, you may have a solution or for something that you didn't have a solution previous day. So it's kind of cool stuff. Plus, creativity, you may come up with really awesome ideas after, sleeping over with the have slow connection. Let me do this webcam, and hopefully you'll see this presentation. So why still life photography? Introverts vs extroverts. It's kind of funny, when I was starting photography, I actually got my first camera a long time ago. Well, it was first credit in US. It was store credit, and we bought my first Canon. And I was shooting everything and whatever, people, landscaping, everything basically. And when I was kind of thinking, okay, now I know a lot, and it's time for me to try to make some money. What I found that, when you shoot people, basically when your subject is a human, it's a huge difference from still life photography, from when your subject is not anything alive. Actually, people or animals or anything in between is more like photography for extroverts. And the rest, the still life, is for introverts. Let me tell you this kind of experience that I had. I was start shooting some portrait show. It was probably easiest to get first friends for free, but at some point somebody offered me money and said, hey, shoot my family and things like this. So I slowly started getting some very little assignments to shoot people. And some of the interesting assignments was that kind of beauty shots, or maybe boudoir, you call it, shots when some beautiful girl asks you, to shoot her with some unique style, interesting, and we work on the shot, meaning that we got online or in magazines, we found some styles, we found some cool ideas of how to do that kind of shot, and I was spending time learning the light, trying to guess how it was, the lighting schemas and stuff like this. And I figured out I was kind of using, my family members as models just to kind of get before the shot, of course. And then when we start shooting, I was, of course, concentrating on how to get nice lighting, how to make sure that everything looks cool. Here is hair, here is such and such thing. But photo were coming really bad. And the bad part was the model, actually. The girl was so tense. She was so, well, in front of the camera, non-professional model, just a girl. It was really hard for her. And I started feeling like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a photographer, right? I'm working with light, and I'm not getting what you're supposed to get. And it was kind of very strange feeling, like, and who's supposed to, I mean, whose fault is this? And I mean, why not getting? And then I realized that, you know, that the biggest issue was that I was thinking in photography in terms of like engineering the light. But with people, you photographer for probably 20%. That's what Peter Hurley said, right? You probably know Peter Hurley, great guy, a friend of mine. He's saying, you know, like, I'm 20% photographer, 80% psychotherapist. Because it's all about communication when you work with human subjects, right? It's all about getting right expression, getting, well, it's all about the subject. The lighting is very simple. It's really, really simple lighting. There are maybe, I don't know, handful type of lighting schemas, right, for people photography. And I'm sure if you know at least like 3, 5 of them, you can be really good photographer. For example, that Peter Hurley, he's using almost all the same lighting schemas. But portraits are different because of facial expression, because of how he worked with the model, how he worked with the subject. So I found myself getting much better results and much better feeling when I was doing still life. When I was, you know, shooting things that doesn't require any talk, doesn't require any eye connection, can sit in front of me for whatever I want, 1, 2, 3 days a week, be quiet, you know, and I can spend all the time tuning up the light. So it's a really big difference. In studio still life photography, we are engineers. We are engineering the light. And with people photography, we are communicators. We are communicating with our model, or with human subject. And I think it's really depends of who you are. I know, you know, some people between introverts and extroverts, kind of a mix, you can do probably a lot. But if you really deep introvert, you may have a hard time of being a really great photographer when you will work with people. And same thing for extroverts. If you really love communication, if you need some kind of you know, energy flow between you and the subject, studio photography might be really boring for you. So make sure that you kind of know where you're heading. Of course, you can always change. It's not a big problem. But yeah, this is my experience. I'm wondering, can I change camera? But okay, we'll do later. I have some demonstration for you guys. I want to talk about you know, lighting and what it means for studio photography on some example, which we're gonna run in studio. So at some point we'll need
Alex, can I
camera.
just interrupt
Hopefully
you for just a moment? I'm not sure if you want the webcam to be on right now or if you'd prefer us just to see your presentation. Either is fine, but I just wanted to let you know that and now we're seeing your webcam. Never mind. It's back on.
Yeah.
I think there might be a little bit of connection issues, but
I see. Yes, it's kind of. I feel much better. There is an eye in front of me. Without it, it's like, who are you talking to? Okay. So, what about time? Oh man, 27 minutes. I wish I can fit everything that I want to share with you. Okay, getting first client. Let's kind of cover this part. With studio photography, when you work as a commercial photographer and you do product photography, jewelry photography, it's a little bit different, or maybe quite different from people photography, because there you work with person, right? There is some connection. Here you work with businesses in most cases. you work with the business. And if you look from the client side of what do they want from you as a photographer, it's quite different things. If you work with, let's say, weddings, if you work with family portraiture or just individual portraiture, events may be closer to business, but if it's like a person-to-person type of thing, those guys, your clients, are looking for memories, for fun, for something that they can, use to impress other people, things like this. And of course, the communication skills is really, really important over there. You basically, you can shoot some crazy stuff with your camera and just convince client that this is such a unique vision, and they can believe you, and it will be true because it's all about believing or not. There is no true or false in this world, and it will work. But in studio photography, when you work with business, what business are looking for is looking for profit, right? They're not looking to impress anyone, and other businessmen, they're not really, if you put yourself into the shoe of your customer, you don't care how good your photographer is, the photographer who you work with, right? How good his or her portfolio. What you're only thinking is, I'm going to spend this money on these photos. How these photos will help me to bring more money to my business, basically to sell something, okay? And while for people, for persons who will be working with, if you are not doing business-to-business type of thing, expenses is okay. Photography, it's an expense. I pay to get nice portraits which I can hang on the wall. It's my expense, it's okay. I just put in into expense, like my car or like food or whatever. Something which pleases me, right? The photo will please me and I'm okay paying for it. With the business, they're trying to minimize expenses. So if they will see in you, as a photographer, if they will see expense, it will be really hard for you to get that assignment. And especially if you are a beginner in terms of you don't have a big list of clients, you don't have recommendations, it may be a big thing how to get your first assignment because all business is trying to avoid expenses. But what's cool if when you will try to convince the business that you are trying to sell your services, that you are not an expense, but an investment. Investment is a good thing, right? Every businessman knows that investing money, it's a good. You invest $1, you may get $2 or $3 or more back when investment will pay off. So for business, product photography is an investment, and they really hope that it will bring them more money if they will use your photography to either promote their business or sell products online or whatever they do. And you just need to kind of turn that thing in your head. Potential client, when you talk to the businessman or whatever, think yourself that you want to help them to make more money. They will feel it. They will feel your thoughts, basically. Because, there are lots of conversation, non-verbal conversation going on, right? We all know that, there are different channels that we read in information, not only what people saying to us, but, mimic, all this movement, body movement, everything gets calculated subconsciously. And we kind of will feel, at some point, we feel that, hey, this is a cool guy, I want to work with him, and I don't want this guy. Even without really explanation, you know why. Because it kind of subconscious works for us this way. So make sure that you think this way. Make sure that you are ready to show the business that it's investment for them. And, well, I have similar video talking about this on YouTube when I kind of suggesting that to get your first client, it's really good idea. And we have examples on Photog. I have that's what we do on Pro Club. There is kind of in a restaurant, or it may be some product which you can just buy for yourself. Do a shot, do a photography, some really cool photography, advertisement photography, not just on a white background or black background. That's not what's going to impress them, but something which you think will help them to sell their services or products or whatever they're saying. And then you can present that photo to them, saying, hey guys, I like what you do. I kind of look at your business or your store or whatever. I like what you do, and I want to help you because I'm learning stuff still, and this was good exercise for me as a photographer. I just did the shot, and you show them, and actually you can give them for free if you want that kind of shot, saying, hey, try it. Maybe I've seen your advertisement, and it's a horrible shot, I think. Try mine. You immediately put in yourself as a kind of investor, well, not investor, you are a friend for them, and they see investment. They can invest in you, in your services, because they can check if it works or not for them. I think, of course, it's not going to work all the time. You shouldn't do this all the time because for free it's not a good thing to work. But to start to get your first client, it may be a really cool thing. And once you get your first client, first commercial client, first business, next step is to, where is it? No. No, sorry. Okay, this, it's organized. The second thing is to hire your customer as your ad agent, somebody who will advertise you. That's kind of crazy. You're not really hiring, but we come to second part of getting the business running is to advertising yourself as a photographer, right? And now it's so easy to spend money on advertisement. It's on Facebook, it's just a few clicks and you have a featured post or whatever. On Google AdWords or AdSense, whatever they call it, it's so easy. You click, 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 boom, and it will be shown. But unfortunately, the effectiveness is really low. I was kind of studying this, and because we're all on a Facebook or all on a Google, just people, all kind of people, businesses, potential clients, and just other people, and everyone there. Like any human being, we have only one kind of channel for our attention, right? We're looking either here or we're looking either here. We cannot get, two things simultaneously. And when you run your advertisement, paid advertisement, you're not competing with other photographers who are trying to do the same. You're competing with multi-billion companies, Walmart, Amazon, whatever. Look at your stream and that sidebar on Facebook and see what kind of advertisement are there. You're competing with huge budget, millions of dollars putting into advertisement, best specialists in the world working to get people attention on their advertisement, on their placement. And when you spend $100 on your Facebook ad, the chance that people will notice your ad, but not Amazon, let's say, is really, it may be low, just because it's quite different, forces. Billions of dollars on one side and your $100 in your experience as a marketing guy on another side. It may not work. What really works is direct recommendations. It's about a thing that we learned that advertisement is about selling us something which we don't need, basically, right? And it's a big kind of factor that stops people to use advertisement is to get the business, just because they know, okay, if it's in a banner, if it's something suggested, that's something that I don't need. Remember how we're doing all kind of purchases online. At least I'll tell you my experience, how I do it. I need to buy something, vacuum cleaner in the studio. I go to Amazon. Why Amazon? Because there is reviews. There are reviews I can read. They're real people, not trying to sell me anything. They just, in most cases, not like paid agents, but real people who just share their experience. I believe them much more than any word that listed into description of that product, because we know that their information is much closer to the truth and it's real experience. And of course, if I have friends, I will ask them what kind of vacuum cleaner they use. And whatever they suggest, it will be probably 100 or 1,000 times more valuable for me than any advertisement that I will see, right? Same with businesses. If you will get recommendation from your first client, it's a great thing. If your first client will somehow tell other businesses how cool you are as a photographer, it will be unbeatable. Nobody can beat that kind of advertisement, because you will get much more attention to your work. So now you just need to think how to make it work, how to make your first or whatever, how to make your clients work for you as promoting you. Let's think, well, now we need to talk about psychology. What about time? Crazy. Well, question, if you run more than an hour, you will be okay or not? Because you may run more than 1 hour. They may be like 1 hour and 30 minutes.
We've got...
I hope it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, we're okay. We're okay on that.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So psychology of how make people to talk about your services. It's not that easy because it may be, again, easier when you shoot for a private person. She or he will be showing that cool portrait that you did. So it's kind of, it works much better. That's why it's actually much easier to get your first client like a human subject. But there is huge competition, of course, just because of this. With businesses, it's not that easy, but what do we share? What do we share? What makes us tell about a good product, about that vacuum cleaner to our friend? What makes us to tell whatever we had about our experience to our friend? There are two things. Well, there is one thing. We want to feel good. We want to feel valuable. We want to feel basically good about ourselves when we're telling something, telling some kind of story. We're delivering some kind of value which will be appreciated on the other side, right? This is why we're telling about whatever we want to tell. We're not telling how, bad we are at something. When you try to cook something and it didn't work for 10 times in a row, you're probably not going to tell about every friend about this. But if you did something really cool and it was featured in some whatever magazine, your recipe, for example, you'll be telling this to your friends because you will feel really cool, right? Because you're sharing some really cool thing about yourself. And it's normal. This is how we work. So for business to make them talk about you, you need to think how to make them feel special. It's psychology, but think about how you can express their specialities, I'm losing my English, how to make them feel special, their products, the services they do. It may impress just as a customer, like you saying, hey guys, you're so cool, I'm going to do one more shot for you for free just because I love what you do and I want to help you. They immediately will start to feel special, right? Oh, that's cool, that's cool. And they most likely will tell about such experience to somebody else. You can do some crazy stuff. You can do some maybe gifts. There are many ideas. Sometimes I was doing, let's say, customer ordered digital files. Most of our customers, we deliver digital things. Files we don't print. But other just gift, we can go and print 20 by 30 image. It's a hero shot, it's a product or whatever, and send it to them as a thank you. They will feel special. They can probably show it to somebody else. This little thing may help you a lot hiring your customer to work kind of for you. Kind of hiring thing. By the way, about prints on Costco, In Costco, you can print 20 by 30, really cool quality for $10. It's unbeatable. You can do it for every client without losing much money. Okay, so this is, I'm kind of running a little bit out of time. I want to talk more about this, but if you want to come to 40G, you know, we can always continue the conversation because we have lots of kind of business type of things there. Okay, and again, about promoting yourself, do crazy things, become visible, go viral. Don't be afraid to do something which people won't like. I know how for a photographer, especially for a photographer who's spending lots of time to learn something, how it's important what community will say about your photo. You post it, and they just like, they jump saying, ah, this is bad, this is terrible. I had that experience like everyone, and especially when you try to teach somebody, that's at the beginning just crazy. You're kind of saying, hey guys, I did it this way, here is a tutorial, and it's like, oh, it was all not good. And make sure that you understand that every person has a right to think different than you, and it's okay. And you shouldn't comply to anyone, you know, to kind of meet any expectation. Just do what you feel will be crazy enough for you to feel good. You know, posting that kind of photos, for example, from my splash images, it's kind of cool thing. So don't take too close any critic, because we have the big community, and especially on Facebook, when people critiquing each other posts, and I see that two different people, two different types of people. About 20%, they shoot a lot, they post how they shoot, and the rest, 80% of the community is love to give a critic, to kind of point on things that can be improved and stuff like this. So when it's 20 to 80, you're getting lots of feedback, which, especially in technical photography, in studio photography, may be really good, because you can look and see where, okay, I didn't notice it's really bad. But when it's time, when it comes to creativity, it's not something that you need to take into consideration. If it's a creative project, it's just your wish to do this way. Don't get discouraged because of you know, that kind of feedback. Okay. So now, second part of our presentation. It's about lighting, about studio photography. Like I said, it's about engineering the light. Okay, it's about engineering the light. It's very, very much different than people photography. I know that I've seen, you know, Strobist. I was inspired by actually Strobist.com a long time ago when I started my blog. And I see how people posting, you know, lighting setups, lighting diagrams, not even setup, lighting diagram of how they shoot that portrait or whatever. And everyone was asking, okay, what's the lighting ratio between that and that light? Or what's the distance between your light and the model, or your model and the background, you know, stuff like this. And it was really important to answer. Then even, you know, that kind of thing like using a light meter. He just had talked with Melanie like the day before about light meter. I don't use light meter at all. In studio photography, it's pretty useless device, because every subject is so much different. Every angle can do, well, you just cannot calculate anything with that little light meter. What you do, you shoot tethered, you look on the big screen, and you just see what you're getting, where your highlights are, where your shadows, if it's too much or not, and you tweak your light. I never look at what second I'm setting on my light. I don't care, because it will be working only for one shot, for this particular shot. If I will put my subject a little bit different, just put an angle, the whole lighting setup can be changed dramatically to make it look nice, again, at different angle. And it's not like with people photography. Why? Because when subject is human, you only work with one subject all the time. same skin, plus minus color, but it's still relatively same reflectiveness of the skin. Hair is here usually, right? Some clothing is here, which is not glossy. So it's like basically matte subject, which you work with emotions. With product photography, you really need to be good in calculating the light, calculating reflections, because everything comes to love of reflection. It's so easy and so hard for many people to understand that what we get into the camera is either reflection or refraction, meaning the light gets reflected from the surface, bounces. Oh, man.
Hey, Alex, I think we lost you there for a second. Would you mind repeating what
Yeah, is it okay now?
Now
Yeah, I
we
see.
can.
I just saw a message popping up. Sorry about this.
That's okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can start doing something. I'm going to show you on a simple subject the difference between approaching lighting, with lighting, with building the lighting setup. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share focus. This is what I use for shoot tethered with my camera. Okay, I'm going to switch it this way. Okay, and the camera is on. So let's start. Do you hear me well? Is it all good?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. So the mic, okay? This cool mic, Samsung. One light. Okay, I'm using plate. Unfortunately, I don't have that my usual setup with multiple cameras because usually I have one camera on top. There is another camera, but it's not possible right now. So I'll just be telling you. I'm going to use black mineral glass, okay, as a surface. I'm placing that subject in front of the camera, and I have one light, just regular reflector, nothing in it. Very simple. One thing, let me get batteries for this remote that I'm going to use. Okay. Now, not talking about ratios, okay? Not talking about how many watt second. It doesn't matter. Believe me, it doesn't matter completely. You see the subject, right? Looks kind of nice, highlighted from one side. If, let's say, we add a little diffuser on another side, or reflector, it will soften shadow, and it's kind of look, well, we see that this is a mic, right? Not a problem with this. Looks good. Let's replace. So we can learn, oh, okay, there is one light schema. Just we put one light, we put a reflector, and it works, okay? So what about this? I'm putting a glass, big glass. Do you see glass? Not sure. There is something going on, but probably not a glass. You don't see the shape. You see some, you know, if you wouldn't know, if you wouldn't see that it was, that actually it's a big vase. If you didn't see it, you probably will be guessing, what is this? There is no such situation with people, right? When you shoot people, if one light will walk, you replace your subject with somebody else, it will be the same basically thing. You may adjust a little bit based on skin tone, you know, stuff like this. You may adjust lighting, but it will work. For this, it's completely unusable. And just because of very different reflectiveness of the surface, okay? It's reflective and it's transparent, and that mic was matte, like our skin actually. So what happens as a photographer, as a studio photographer, as an engineer in lighting? I'm thinking, okay, looks like we're getting some reflection, the big spots. We're getting bright reflection from the this little light source. Let's use something larger to get nicer, larger reflection, right? So I'm going to replace it with what? Right, softbox. Strip box in our case. Strip box is, well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 strip boxes and only one big soft box, meaning that strip box is narrow soft box, okay? I hope you know all this, but not sure. So let's put a soft box and do a shot. Okay, looks different, looks better, right? But still not enough. We lost some light. Okay, it looks just darker than previous one, right? Just because softbox didn't produce as much light as glossy reflector, right? So I'm adding one f-stop. Boom. Again, I'm not sure how it will look. I add it and look, okay, so it looks better now. But we still don't see the shape of our subject. And it's a cool thing about shooting glossy stuff. There is no shape that you can highlight. You can only draw shape. Use your glossy surface as the reflection. So you're not highlighting this. You're not creating shape by, you know, putting shadows and things that you do again with human, let's say, with a portrait. You're highlighting here, and there is nice shape with you know, shadow and highlight. That's what gives us that feeling of the volume, right? You know how we create an image, how we draw an image of a ball, right? First, it's a circle. It looks like a circle, 2D, and then artists start adding shadow on one side, bright on another side. Then if it will be shadow under the ball, we start seeing the ball. Same picture, right? I mean, it's still 2D, but our mind reads out that there is a volume. To show volume here, we need to make it somewhere else. We cannot make it on the subject. It's not coming up from it. So what do? We do this. We use our biggest friend, and our biggest friend is a diffuser. I have many of them. Do it yourself, do it myself, or kind of ready to use like this Matthews large one. But this is the key. If you have many of them, if you know how to use them, plus reflectors, you can do whatever you want in studio photography. Any type of subject, if you know how to calculate all this. So let's put this diffuser between our softbox and the subject, okay? Boom. Simple. And shoot. Again, probably we need more power, okay? More power, because we're reducing light that hits subject by putting things in between. Okay, we see something, right? Strange thing, it's all in the focus. It's in the focus, but we don't see this vase as a glossy. It's a matte, right? We don't see that it's polished glass. It's a matte. Why? Again, this is how our brain works. Matte surface, when it reflects the light, it diffuses it, right? It diffuses, and this is what we see usually from matte reflection, from matte surface, that kind of reflection. Here, it's a glossy surface, but it's in a mirror. It's like a mirror. And it reflects this diffuser. On one side, by the way, what reflects what's coming on from other side. Do you understand why we have two sides? Why we have two white lines out that ways? Law of reflection. You remember it, right? The law of reflection. On the left, we see reflection from the outer surface, on this, right? And on other side, we see reflection from the inner surface of our rays. So two reflections, just making sure. How to make it look glossy? On the glossy parts, we usually see reflections in the focus, kind of. Look at anything glossy. Remember how you look at your Christmas tree bulb, you know, that glossy, nice bulb. You see whole room all around, and you see it sharp, right? If you kind of look closely, you see everything. It's not blurred. So this is how we perceive glossy subject. We need something sharp. So if you make something sharp here, maybe it will start looking glossy. How we make sharp thing here? Making some sharp reflection on the diffuser. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to touch diffuser with a softbox. Okay, I'm touching it on one side and not touching on the other side. You see what happened? It looked much more glossier, kind of. Again, we can play with this, but basically it looks like something glossy is going on. We can add brightness, you know, but between this and this, there is a big difference. So it's still not really showing us the shape, but it looks already better. Now, when you learn how to, you know, make that kind of reflection, now you can play with position of this. You understand that if we'll move our light from other side, it will go this way, right? If you move light here. And how it happens? Without memorizing anything, think about, you know, let me write this for you, create this. Okay, cool. You have some part. Let me, 1 second. It was actually funny, in the group, I had this lesson on 40G where I was showing how to shoot a bottle of wine, and the guy was trying to repeat it, I mean, to do this the same, just based on the tutorial, and he couldn't get it. He couldn't get the result. And I just realized that he's not really understanding what is going on, why I have lighting here and there. A little bit difference, let's say, difference distance between his subject and his diffuser and mine, and he's not getting what's supposed to get and cannot do anything. So, law of reflection, top view on our, this is our vase, or it can be a bottle of wine, it doesn't matter. Do you see it? Not really, 1 second. Okay, now it should be better, right? So this is your wine. This is your camera. Okay, this is the camera. We had light here. There is big diffuser, right? We had light here on this side. And we see some line over here, right? Why? Angles the same, law of reflection. This angle equal this angle, right? Should be easy for you to understand. This is why light here, we see reflection here. What to do? That guy, he couldn't get nice edge reflection over the bottle of wine. He couldn't get it and was asking why. He was getting reflection over here. It was kind of close to the middle, but not on the edge. How we get reflection on the edge? Where we need to put our light? You shouldn't kind of think too much. You just need to calculate it. If you put your line between your camera and that surface, right? The angle will be, if it's kind of that kind of shape bottle, the angle is very, very sharp, right? This is where you're getting, sorry, this way, you're getting reflection from. These angles are the same. So to get a reflection on the edge, this is where you need to put your light. On the side behind the subject, if your subject is like this, like a bottle, like a cylinder. This is simple, but it works for any complex product, for anything. You can easily calculate where you need to place your lighting if you look at the shape. If you cannot calculate because shape is crazy like that watch, what you can do, I can give you a little hint. This is $1 million hint, really, because it can save lots of time and efforts. What I do is this. I put a few diffusers, or if I had, for example, when I had a little small studio, it was just the walls relatively close to the lighting setup, not like in this studio, it's huge, 3,000 square feet. So what I do, I have this flashlight with focusable. Basically, laser is too small. I need something which I can see the spot. I look through the camera viewfinder, or if it's mirrorless, I look at the live view, doesn't matter. And I'm moving my spot all around the subject, on the ceiling, on the walls, on the diffusers, whatever I have. And I see where I start seeing the reflection from this spot on my subject. The reflection gives me the key where I need to put either light or black screen or whatever to either hide something or to highlight something. It's especially cool when it's reflective or refractive or mixed, because you cannot kind of calculate it this way. So with this light, you can really see where you need to put stuff, where you need to put your light modifiers. Okay, let's get back to our show, because I have a lot of things to show you. So we got our light, right? We got our shot like this. It still doesn't look nice because it's a transparent subject. So what to do? How to improve it? Let's add one light to highlight something behind. Okay, and I'm adding that light. So spotlight behind it, you can see the stuff there. It hits the white wall. By the way, white wall. Why it's dark? Because there is no light in it, right? Easy. If it's relatively far away and you don't have any spills, it's white wall. Now you see the shape, right? Now you see something. Now you see that on the edge it's really black, and then we have some white. So let's say if you do something like this, I'll move it just a little bit closer. Working on the edges a little bit more. Okay. So now we have really tiny black edge, right? Then some gradient going on. Kind of looks okay, nothing special, just a vase or glass, it doesn't matter if you don't know the size. Black edge, you understand where we're getting black edge? Do you know where we're getting black edge from, why we are getting it? You remember what I was drawing to you, right? You remember it? I hope so. We're getting it from this area, okay? The area which is not highlighted by any light and gets reflected on the very edge. You see at the bottom, What is this? At the bottom in our glass, something strange. This is probably a reflection from our table, right? The reflection from our table. And it doesn't look nice. And how to fix it? And actually, there is no many ways of how to fix it. You need to either take out that glass if you don't need it, or do something else. But there is no way to hide it because this is what you see through the subject. One cool thing about refraction that you can change the refraction, you can change angles of anything that you have if you can fill with something. Let's try to do this. I have this water, okay? I have the water, and I can pour some water inside this glass and do a shot. Boom, it immediately changed what we see through, right? We see some different things just because the water, the light when comes through the water, it's very different than the light comes through the air, right? So we got that kind of shot. You see why just the spotlight didn't work for this, and why it did work for our microphone, right? Just because different finish of our subject. If instead I would use umbrella, it will be same bad shot, because we will see umbrella. We will see umbrella in our glossy piece, right? And well, this is why, again, this is why diffusers, and more diffusers, they work as the reflectors same way. So I always have more diffusers than the reflectors. I can always shoot through them. On the reflectors, you need to kind of put light between the reflector and the subject. It's not that easy. Putting it behind, much easier. This is why, because this lighting setup will work for microphone really well. If you'll put mic and move light probably this side to be a little bit on the front, it will work completely okay. However, it won't work. It will work for glossy parts as well. This is why diffusers and softboxes. Okay, now what can we do cool about this? Let's say you learn something. You get this shot now. Okay, I know it. Nice. I know how to shoot little stuff. I have something. Actually, you can move light back to get it maybe look a little bit different. If you like this look, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter what kind of look you like. Either one will work. Now, what you can do? Creativity. What can be done here? What about splash? You know, when I first discovered that you can freeze motion, it changed my world. It changed my photography, and probably this is what made me who I am now. Really, people start noticing it. It's immediately wow kind of factor. Wow factor is really a cool thing. Technical stuff here. Technical. To freeze action, you need to have short flash duration. If it's too hard for you, I understand. Sorry, you can go. I have course about this, liquid splash photography. I know the speed lights, and not only speed lights. But basically, you need really short flash duration. I'm not going to change shutter speed or aperture. Shutter speed can be 1/200 of a second, can be 1/800 of a second. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything. I'm switching to fast flash duration here. Okay. I'm adjusting light a little bit to make it even more shorter. I just reduced this light, so in this bottom color with two lights on same power, it gets really nice when you have same power. It's really short flash duration. And let me do this. Let's try to do. I'll try to catch it. Okay, with my hand, remote trigger, nothing special. Let's see. Of course, I covered other light. Okay, I didn't really hit it, but you see the idea. More tries, you'll get better results. More you throw, it looks even better and better. Am I catching something? Okay, almost done. So, you may ask how we clean this. Let's see. Let's see how it looks like. So, plain shot, and this, well, let's bump up a little bit brightness if you want, whatever. Plain shot become immediately not plain when we have something interesting like this, like a splash, right? And with a little bit training, you can get some interesting, very interesting results. And well, and this is why I love product photography, studio photography. So that was a demo. I showed you how I'm thinking through the shot. When I'm getting some subject which I never seen before, which I never tried, okay, I never seen any tutorial, I never did it myself. I put it and I start with one light, I start surrounded with diffusers, I start highlighting, and we're getting something. Of course, there are many things like if it's matte, we better use more sharp light, spotlights. If it's something like a food shot, food photography, there are many matte surfaces, and if it's something glossy, it's better to show its glossiness, with spotlight. If it's a product, we better use some smooth, nice reflection on it. But basically, it all comes to engineering the light. Okay, almost done. We have, well, 15 minutes for questions. I need probably 3 more minutes, just show you a little bit on the presentation, and I will be done, okay? And then questions. So, learning the light, understand law of reflection, use it, calculate the light, and improvise. This is what improvising when I start throwing splashes on it. And actually, another thing, I don't have time. The last piece is when we can add a gel on the background to make it a different color, then it will be really cool shot. Not going to do it right now, no time, but another piece. So, and yeah, that kind of stuff, you can do it immediately, boom, one shot, looks pretty crazy. So the whole idea, when you do your self-assignments, when you shoot for yourself, for your portfolio, do something which it's hard to replicate for others, okay? This is what will put you away from, people with DSLRs, as I call them. Those people who are all commercial photographers are struggling, like, oh, there is a competition, especially in event photography, in wedding photography, when it's like, oh, well, why I need to hire you? My friend will do it for me. And it's true, unfortunately. Sometimes friend can do it. It will be not as good as you do, but for people it may be okay, a very low kind of expectations and whatever. And you're thinking that you're losing client, but basically you're not losing client. It's never what your client. However, when you shoot things like this, nobody can, well, not nobody, but very few people can do the same. So find something that will put you out of the crowd. Something which you will do. You will probably, it can be, some people can do the same, but they have to put lots of effort. So spend your time, invest, and do something crazy. Learn equipment. It may be not expensive. Yeah, I was using some Hasselblad here, Broncolor, lighting, all cool stuff. However, I can do exactly the same thing with speed lights, with $70 Chinese speed light. One speed light, no, two, for this shot, two. I can do exactly the same. And I have actually repeated, I have again a course, advanced photography with speed light course on 40G. Let me ask you this, it was posted, how much lights here and how much post-production? One light shot with a speed light, and in Photoshop we just tweak a color, making it blue. That's it. one light with a speed light. There is special attachment that I used. Special attachment, again, attachment costs $100. You can do things like this. This is the beauty of product and studio photography, still life photography, that you can use some really cool devices or build themselves yourself, and people will never guess how you get it. Without knowing that it was, it's called light blaster, just an attachment on a speed light which can project. You put a lens on that attachment. I can show you probably if you're interested. If you're interested, ask question, then I'll show you. You can do the attachment. It will project some pattern, and you see it looks like this when I shoot that glass crystal. This, 2 shots, speed lights, few speed lights with few strip boxes, cheapest possible. I went online, I went on eBay, I bought $70 strip boxes, I bought $60 speed lights, and I did a course of how to do stuff like this, just to show. It's not like I was enjoying that speed lights. Of course, I would better work with broncolor, but it's so much, again, in our mind. I need to make sure that I can deliver that message that you can do a lot with what you already have. Just a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more creativity, and knowing how to do this, especially in product photography. Then this, similar to this glass. 2 glasses. Which one you like better? I don't know if you follow me or not. If you know this, be quiet. I almost like better the left one, and it's iPhone shot. This is an iPhone shot out of the camera, out of iPhone. And this shot on the right one is a Hasselblad. Left iPhone, right Hasselblad. Why I'm showing this to you? You can do with iPhone, even with iPhone, some crazy stuff. I'm actually working on the course for iPhone photography. It will be just crazy. This is iPhone shot. This is from that new course. iPhone shot. With no lights, just a window. iPhone shot. iPhone shot. No lights, window, and some diffusers. That kind of diffusers, this is collapsible. Not my favorite, but if you travel, if you kind of need to bring your lighting setup to, let's say, restaurant when you do food photography, it's much more handier. But in studio, it's harder than to, to fix comparing to the one that in the hard frame. And by the way, this is the shot for that iPhone. This is behind the scene for the iPhone shot. One light source behind light, LED light, and iPhone can do stuff. It's all about putting things together. Okay, and well, this is just some recent work for the Pro Club where I do a tutorial and people do the assignment based on the tutorial, and then they do critique and all that kind of thing. So kind of that cool thing, we were using some motion, moving background to get that not just depth of field blue, but other kind of blue. This is a composite shot, one shot in restaurant with blurry background, and then some shot in the studio, and then we combine it together. Kind of cool. This is with view camera. The camera that when you can change digital back, basically your sensor and your lens is not connected, hard connection. You can move stuff, view camera, hope you know what it is. You can do some cool perspective type of thing and focus everywhere, and not everywhere. And this is with light painting, for example, that vase, some strobe lights to make nice vase shape, and then light painting behind it. And some liquid photography, which again, liquid photography was a winning ticket for me. Now it's a little bit not as easy because everyone can freeze action now, but you still have your creativity and uniqueness. Okay. Whew. I think I'm done.
Well, thank you very much. That was a fantastic demo that you gave for us. Thank you so much, Alex. A lot of the students have been writing in, commenting. Randy Arney and Jamie Bruce says, this is the best webinar I've ever attended thus far. Thank you. Cassandra Woodard has said, I love seeing him move the lights and seeing how it affects the photo. One of the best webinars. Stephanie Gordon said, my mind was just blown away. That's amazing. And the praise goes on and on forever. We have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. A very easy question at first from Katie Martinez. She wondered if it was possible to get a copy of your PowerPoint. We can deal with that later. I think she might just be interested in some of the suggestions that you were kind of giving.
Yeah, definitely. I'll proofread it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You mentioned that you were using a Hasselblad for this demo. That was one of the questions that came in. What question or what camera was being used? And you kind of touched on what your diffusers are made out of, but the one that you were using specifically for that demo, is that just a piece of foam board, or?
I'll show you. This is not a foam board, because again, foam board, it will be a reflector, right? It's not transparent. This is, I think it's a Matthews diffuser. Basically, let me unscrew it. It comes on the metal frame. I cover it with white because it's yellow. I don't know why they put yellow, probably to make it life a little bit harder for us. So yellow reflection, crazy. Anyway, this is silk, and it's a metal frame. And what's cool about this, it cost about $60, $70, or $90, one piece like this. Because you can use this kind of clamp on a stand or on any stand, Avenger, and this is Impact. Because it's fixable on the middle, it's so easy to position this guy anywhere on a space when you want. Because it's collapsible, you can hang it easily just vertically, right? You clip it on top. But this guy over here, using this, I can really, come on. It's not coming. It needs one more hand. Okay. So I can do like this. I can do like that. Fix it, and it will stay there for me. And in product photography, many times I needed position in the space on some crazy positions. Okay. Just because, like I said, it's all about reflection, and sometimes you need to block reflection or create some nice reflection, anywhere around the subject. So it's not like pieces just like a dome. This is why these diffusers are the best. They sell frames. Oh, one more. I'll be fast, really quick. You probably will be interested in do-it-yourself stuff. I was, again, really enjoying this do-it-myself stuff. This is frame, okay? This is frame. It costs, I think, around $20 or so. I have on Photogip, I have a list of under my gear. I can send you a link where it's a link on B&H where to buy all this stuff. So the frame, which again, you can kind of connect to the stand same way. And here you can put whatever you want. I use Savage plastic. This is plastic. It's a great thing because you can wash it. You can cut it if you need. For example, I need to shoot through it. I stick camera here. I cut a hole, and it was some nice.
I think we lost you there for just a second.
Did it answer the question?
Well, it did, but it cut out for just a moment.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So, I didn't finish? You didn't hear what I was saying, or?
No, we didn't hear the very end. It was when you were saying that it was about $20 or $40.
About the diffuser.
Yeah. Yes, about that one.
Oh, well, yeah, So the frame itself, 20 further, and then you can put whatever you want. I'm using plastic. It's Savage plastic. Savage plastic. They sell it, I think, 50 feet by whatever, relatively wide, I forgot, for like $50 or so. I mean, you can cut that kind of diffusers, hundreds of them out of one roll. They sell it in a roll, and it's plastic, so it's easy to wash it. You can cut holes like when you need to shoot through. I was shooting something where I need to hide the camera because it was bad reflection, so I just covered camera and everything with this. Cut a hole, stick a lens here, and got a nice shot. And it cost almost nothing. Okay.
Great, nice. And I think I've seen the video that you show where you're actually showing how to make a diffuser. I'm not sure how old that video was, but just for our students, that is also shared on our First Year's Focus and Fire blog. A question about the gels. You had mentioned gels for a moment. One question popped up from Nancy Wills. Can you put a gel on a softbox, or should you only put grids on a softbox?
It's a very good question, and I have answer sitting right here. This is my gel for a strip box. This is what I was going to put on that on the spotlight, just cover it. This is I stick it with Scotch tape. This is lead gel. Again, on eBay they sell how much feet is it? Like 1 or 2 feet, whatever. So it's square. You can cut it. You can make it longer. You can use gels on the. I'll show you something. On some boxes. And let me do a little switch. Oh, no, not this one. Sorry. I have it. I have a link where I was going to share something with you, but it's not letting me. Oh, no, it is. Okay, so on 40G, there is free tutorials, okay? And one of those tutorials is this. It's called The Best Way to Use Color Gels in Studio Photography, and here is why. I have a video where I demonstrate how I got this shot. It was really easy and fast shot, and I was using gels on the soft boxes here. And some, whatever you call it. I steal it from my girls, 7-year-old girl. I forgot. So yeah, gels great everywhere. It's a very good tool for creative photographer.
Yeah.
To use gels.
Nice, nice. A question came in from Michael Berg, more of a business question. He says, I would love to know what kind of license or usage fee he charges for one image. How do you handle that sort of thing?
At the beginning, I was clueless actually, and I was just selling images. Then I kind of figure out about licensing and all this stuff. And of course, when you work with small businesses, most of them have no idea what the license is about. It's more like, I'm paying you money, give me my photo, and I can do whatever you want. So you need to kind of be prepared to educate your client so there is a license. And I was kind of making it easy. I was saying, hey guys, I'm giving you unlimited, non-exclusive rights. That means that you can use it anywhere you want, but non-exclusively, meaning that I can use it as well without, and I was promising not to sell anywhere, not to resell images. For most it worked, but we can always kind of negotiate one-time use if they need small, let's say they're saying, oh, it's out of our budget. How to, it's actually a cool thing, how to get the client lower your fee without being cheap, like going cheap, like, oh, okay, I'll shoot it for you for 2 times less, for example. It doesn't look good when client understands that he can always, or she can, they can screw you in this way, like just push you and you, boom, you drop. What you do is this. You say, okay, guys, you cannot pay for unlimited usage. You can pay for one-time use. It will be, let's say, 3 times less. You can use it once in that application, whatever you agree. If you want to, if you need it in the future, use next time, in somewhere else, you'll pay me some kind of fee. And this way, you completely staying professional. It's completely okay, and they're getting what they want, and you can actually license it later to them. How I was calculating? I was charging creative fee. Yeah, I think it's called creative fee, just for my time. For example, I was charging like $95 per hour for my shooting time, whatever time I spend shooting stuff. But I never was charging that direct fee because it was without any licensing, and I wasn't selling without licensing, right? I was saying, and now we come to licensing. Licensing, I was adding percentage to my creative fee. For example, one-time use, it's 100% on top of this. Meaning it will be $180 per hour of shooting things if you get, let's say, one-time license. For unlimited, it was 300% on top of this. So it was 300 whatever dollars for my time shooting. For exclusive, it was, I think it was 600 or so, so multiply 6 times. That's how I was approaching clients. License on top of my time. I never charge per photo, because I don't care how much photos they will take. If I will produce 100 photos an hour, okay, it's their photos. However, we were always kind of negotiating this, that we're not going to give them raw files. Unless it's advertising agency, they have their own design team. They need raw file, they know what to do, you're okay with this. And actually there is no other way. If they want raw, you either work with them or not. But for small business, we're saying we never give you raw file. You will pay for post-production for each image that we deliver to you. It may be like $15 per image. It may be, depends on how, for example, for jewelry. One day we were shooting lots of jewelry for a relatively large client, but it was very dirty jewelry and there was no way to get clean. So we are charging $95 for every piece that we delivered because it was lots of post-production. So this is how it comes to counting images, only based on post-production time. So we can kind of see how much post-production is needed. Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I kind of jumped a little bit. It's, I can talk a lot, but time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll leave you with one last question. Aside from the diffuser, the gels, what would you say is the most important tool that a photographer should have in their studio?
Diffuser, gel. Most important, well, your head.
Yeah.
Photographers. No, really, that's a diffuser and the light behind the diffuser. That's the tools that we use for photography. It's not like important or not. That's the only tool that we use to create a picture, right? Camera is just a registration device. The light, again, it can be strobe, it can be continuous light if subject doesn't move, it doesn't matter. I remember I was using some construction lights at the beginning, and now these days I can do almost any shot with any light. Give me a candle and I can shoot stuff for you. Really. You know why? Of course, knowledge and stuff like this, but I know how to use diffusers, I know how to use light modifiers. For me, as a photographer, it doesn't matter what I have behind it. I can always direct that light. I can put foil around whatever, any lamp, tabletop lamp, to direct that light to the diffuser, create something, some gradient, whatever I want, and it will be a nice picture. So it's all about light modifiers. There is no important or not, I don't know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you. And thank you again for such a fantastic presentation. We're still getting questions coming in. Mostly a lot of questions saying, excellent, this is awesome, thank you, thank you. So I guess we can end the lecture on that, and still more messages coming in. Thank you, thank you. So thank you again. We really appreciate it. And This video is going to be available on our student network, so you'll have it there. And if you have any questions at all, Alex, would you mind if the students contacted you later with questions? Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely. What I can do, because it may be repeatable questions from different
Sure.
students, and it may be a little bit hard, to answer all the same thing again. Let me do this. I'm going to create a forum, kind of sub-forum on Photigy. It will be public open forum, not a problem. The only thing that you need to register to reply. And send you a link, and it will be forum for this webinar, for attendance of this webinar.
Fantastic.
And we can continue discussion over there.
Great.
That's what drives me. I mean, the conversation with like-minded people.
Right, right. Well, great. Well, thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, everyone, for watching me. Sorry for some interruptions and probably for my too much blah, blah, blah. It's just a little bit hard to stop for me. I kind of get in flow, and but yeah, I hope you get a little bit of my passion in studio photography, and well, enjoy your life.
Definitely. Great. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.